Let me tell you the top 10 lies about the cleaning industry. What's up, y'all? It's AJ Simmons, the cleaning business GOAT and founder of Clean Biz Network. And I want to tell you the top 10 lies about the cleaning industry because I've been in this industry for 19 years now, almost 20. And so I kind of want to just get into this because there's a lot of myths about this industry. A lot of people try to avoid getting into it because they believe the lies. And then there's some people that's already in it, but they think they just want to use this industry, for temporary purposes and then go to something else because they just don't think, this industry is good enough for them because they believe the lies. So I'm about to go ahead and get to the top 10 lies about this industry. Here we go. So here's lie number 1. There's no money in the cleaning industry. And that's a bald-faced, flat-out lie. All right. There are multi-million-dollar companies and corporations in this industry. There are companies that have, multiple generations worth of when they family line all in this cleaning industry, and they built multiple $1 million family empires through the cleaning industry. Most of those are typically going to be through commercial cleaning. You also start off typically in commercial cleaning. Some people start in residential too. Most of the time it goes from commercial cleaning and then they expand to building services. But there are billion-dollar companies in the cleaning industry, y'all. So there is definitely money in the cleaning industry. I think a lot of times people think there's no money in it because they think about janitors. You know what I mean? And how that's not really the highest paying job out there. But we're not talking about a job. We're talking about a business. And so then you might think about too your uncle or your aunt that had a cleaning business for as long as you can remember. You was a kid and now you're grown, and that person still, while they got decent money, but they ain't really like balling, and you thinking, all right, well, you've been in that industry for 20 years and you still out here running from building to building or house to house. Can't be no real money in it. But the problem is your uncle or aunt that had that cleaning business for the last 20 years that's still out there hustling. They just never learned how to run a company. That's all. They never learned how to actually scale up. But there is money in this industry. That person just didn't know what they're doing. They might know something. I'm not trying to, discount your aunt and uncle on them and say that they don't know nothing. But I'm just going to tell you, they didn't level up. They didn't learn how to scale a business. Or they might just didn't want to. Some people want to stay small because it's more control. You know what I mean? It's less stressful because if you do it yourself, it's typically done better than hiring somebody else to do it, right? But if you really want to see the real money, then you definitely gonna have to learn how to scale up, hire other people, better yourself as a manager and all that good stuff. And a lot of people just don't do that, so they don't see the real money. But there is, in fact, hundreds of millions of dollars in the cleaning industry, and you can build your company as big as you want to. All of the money you ever want to make in the world could be made from your cleaning business. All right. So that's myth number 1. There's no money in this business. It absolutely positively is. All right. Myth number 2. You have to like cleaning. I'm going to tell you this. Now, you definitely shouldn't be like disgusted by cleaning, right? But do you got to love cleaning? Hell no. Because if you're going to build this business up and build a real corporation with real money and grow it, you ain't going to be doing cleaning most of the time anyway. You're going to start off cleaning because you want to get that experience up. You want to know what you're doing so you can train others to do it. You know what I mean? All of that good stuff. But at the end of the day, do you have to know how to clean? Absolutely. Not know how to clean. You shouldn't know how to clean. But what I meant was, do you have to love cleaning? Absolutely not. Absolutely, positively not. All right. I have somebody that I've known for a while that I try to convince them every year, just go ahead and invest in a cleaning company because they can't keep a job. You know what I mean? They keep quitting every job that they get. They've been doing that for years. And then it's like, okay, well, I need to invest my money in something so I don't have to keep dealing with this every year. And I always tell them, get a cleaning company. And they're like, well, AJ, everybody don't want to do a cleaning business. I'm like, well, I ain't want to do a cleaning business either. I just did what I had to do. I knew this was an easy way to get into a business and I no longer have to have a job for the rest of my life. And it was a great decision. And that person still to this day ain't invested into a business because since for the past 10, 20 years now, they've been talking about, I don't want no cleaning. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But you don't have to be interested in cleaning to run a cleaning company. All right. As long as you're interested in owning a company, you can do a cleaning company. This can be, and even if you just build it up enough to sell it for hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, and then you use that money to flip into what you really want to do. But this can be your easy start in entrepreneurship, and you can turn it into whatever you want to turn it into. All right. But you do not have to love cleaning or be interested in cleaning to start a cleaning company. All right. The third lie is you think it's easy. It is very, very simple. All right. This is a simple business. You get contracts, that's sales, and then you get people to clean those contracts. And then you pretty much do your job to put systems in place to keep those contracts and continue to grow. That's it. Get a bunch of contracts, match people to clean those contracts, keep growing. Repeat the process. That's really all it is. Now, there's a lot of little nuances and details within that to scale that up, to manage it, to maintain it, continue to grow, and all that good stuff. But it's very, very simple. But don't think for 1 second that it's easy. It is easy to clean a toilet. It is easy to vacuum, and it is easy to clean carpets and all of that. But once you get into these big ass contracts and you got to keep bending over and dumping 100 and something trash cans a night, your back gonna hurt. You know what I mean? You got to vacuum a 50,000 square foot building with a backpack vacuum, your back gonna hurt, right? And or somebody calls out and you just found out at 4 o'clock in the morning, now you got to go out there and go clean because somebody else ain't cleaning. Your company ain't big enough where you got things in place in between you and the cleaner. So you got to be the cleaner that substitutes until you get big enough to have more, systems in place between you and that cleaning. No, that ain't easy. You know what I mean? So don't think for a second it's supposed to be easy and it's going to be easy. Nothing worth having in this life is easy. All right. So don't think for a second I'm telling you that it's easy, but I am telling you it's simple. There is a difference. It's very simple to figure out. Bam. If I grow by $1,000 at a minimum every single month, by the end of the year, I'll be at 12 grand a month. You know what I mean? That's simple math right there. But is it easy to do that? That's debatable. It depends on how you're growing. It depends on what variables, what type of buildings you decide to clean, all that good stuff. So don't think for a second it's just going to be easy to do. It is very, very simple, but I ain't telling you that it's easy, all right? The fourth lie is people think that they got to start in residential cleaning. You do not have to start in residential cleaning, all right? You can start off in residential cleaning, work your way up to commercial, and then keep going from there. But do you have to? No. I started in commercial first, then went to residential, then realized I didn't like residential and went back to commercial. Right? Some people start in residential, try commercial, and then go back to residential because they don't like commercial. But don't think for a second that you gotta start in residential. A lot of people come into this industry new and they're intimidated by the buildings, by the professionals, because they feel like they're not professional enough to do commercial. That's just not true. All right. As long as you can articulate yourself well enough, as long as you got the courage to walk in these buildings and present your business, as long as you willing to learn and watch a channel like the AJ Simmons YouTube channel, right? Clean Biz Network, you'll be fine. All right, just do what my videos tell you to do, and you will be just fine. But don't think for a second that you have to start in residential. Nothing wrong with residential, but just don't think that you have to, because a lot of people believe that lie that they have to start there and work their way up, and it's just not true. All right. The fifth lie that's out there is that you need to start with a cleaning franchise. Absolutely not. Now, I started with a cleaning franchise. In fact, I went through 3 different franchises before I finally realized that I didn't like the franchise model. I even worked for cleaning franchises as well as an employee, on top of being a franchise owner for them in the past. And then after a while, I realized, you know what, independent is the way for me, because I don't need anybody middleman in my money, bidding on my contracts for me and all of that. I wanted to own my own contract. So what I realized was you don't have to start with a cleaning franchise, especially now that Clean Biz Network exists. See, when I first got into the industry, there was no real alternative to a cleaning franchise, to be honest with you. But now that Clean Biz Network exists, you got help out here now. You know what I mean? Back in the day, wasn't a lot of help out there. Outside of the janitorial store, it wasn't really much. You know what I mean? So now that, people like AJ Simmons and the Clean Biz Network exist, going independent has never been easier in the cleaning industry. All right. So don't think that you have to go through a cleaning franchise. If you want to own your own contracts, you want to know how to price your contracts the right way, how to get contracts in the first place, all that good stuff, you can do it. Don't think you need a franchise to do it. Now, am I saying you don't do it at all with a franchise? I ain't gonna lie. There are very few cases where a franchise might be, beneficial to get you started. All right, there are some rare cases, but for the most part, avoid those. Get your whole bag if you can get your whole bag. Ain't no need to go paying somebody, letting them take your money before you can even get your money. All right, but don't think for a second you have to start with a cleaning franchise. All right. And lie number 6 is that you need expensive equipment and supplies to get started. Truth be told, I've heard of people getting started in this industry with zero, because they started, let's just say, for example, shout out to Miss Nicole. I forget her last name off the top of my head, but Miss Nicole, she spoke at one of my conferences a while back. She started in the residential side. All her clients provided their own cleaning stuff because they know what they want their house to smell like. They know what they want it cleaned with, and they got their own vacuum cleaner. So she just went from house to house, told them how the stuff ready, and she just showed up. So no money invested at all. All right. Then on the commercial side, if you got a bunch of subcontractors lined up, they got their own cleaning equipment, and you just good at getting contracts and closing those deals with selling, then again, another example of you not needing a bunch of expensive equipment and contracts. So don't think you have to have that stuff. All right. And then even if you do start out with the cleaning on your own, Cool, but get the basics. I got a website, cleaningbusinessstarterkit.com. We got you with all the supplies there. You can start with those supplies, or if you don't want to get it directly from us, just look what's up there. The most expensive thing in that kit is a backpack vacuum. That is the most expensive thing you need to get started, is a vacuum cleaner. Everything else should not cost you that much. Now, you do, if you're going to go the commercial route, make sure you get commercial grade equipment though, and supplies. But don't think you need to go get a buffer, a machine scrubber, a carpet clean. You don't need all these different machines just getting started, y'all. All right, start with the basics. Do regular old janitorial commercial cleaning, work your way from there. All right, but you don't have to have these things and put so much money into it up front just to get started. All right, get you some revenue coming in first and let the company pay for itself. All right, and then right on top of that, the next slide would be that you need a van. You do not need a van to run a cleaning company, y'all. I started my first cleaning company with an Acura coupe, a little small Act coupe CL. I put my big rolling trash can in the front seat of my car, leaned that passenger seat all the way back and leaned the trash can in that, and drove that to the first contract that I got. They had a janitorial closet. I left all of my supplies in their janitorial closet, y'all. And then if I ever needed to transport something to another building as I grew, I put it in my trunk, drove it to the next building, left it there overnight. Whenever I needed something, I would just transport it from another building to another building until over the years I got wiser, started putting equipment in each new contract that I get. I basically just get a starter kit, put it in that contract in their janitorial closet. Every now and then you get those smaller contracts where they don't have a janitorial closet for you. Okay, well, you keep your little kit in your trunk. All right, but don't think you need to have all of these big, expensive vans and trucks and all of this mess. That's not required. All right, you don't even need an SUV, honestly, to get started with a commercial cleaning company or any type of cleaning company for that matter. All right, don't waste your money. Can you do it? Does it help? Is it cool? Sure, it could be beneficial, but do you need it? No. Lie number 8, that robots will take over the cleaning industry, or that they won't take over the cleaning industry. Both of those are lies. All right, now let me tell you what I mean. The first one isn't really a lie when I said that robots will take over the cleaning industry. Yeah, that's true. But I still put it in the lie category because robots taking over every industry, not just the cleaning industry. Okay, the robots taking over anything physical, period. AI is taking over anything analytical, period. But guess what? It's not just exclusive to the cleaning industry. So don't believe that lie and don't say, well, I ain't going to invest into that industry because robots going to eventually take over that. They eventually taking over all that. Okay. At some point, it's going to get to a point where humans don't do work. The government is going to pay you a stipend out for most people. And then you just going to live off of that and you're going to have an allowance. It is what it is. The Great Reset is on its way. I ain't even about I ain't trying to be a conspiracy theorist, even though I kind of am. But it just is what it is. The writing is on the wall. Okay. And so what's going to happen is, and the way I see it, this is what I predict. Now, the second part I'm about to say, I don't know, but this is what I predict. You got to have and you got to have nots. Most people will be have nots. Okay. And they're going to get government checks and it is what it is. For the haves, those will be the people who got rich before the Great Reset happened and they found a way to get on the other side of things and they made it, right? But my thing is this, well, if they're going to have and have nots and the rest of everybody else going to have to depend on the government and follow these rules else you don't get your check and this and that, your best bet is to do your best to get on the side of the haves, right? Well, how do you get on the side of the haves? You better start your ass a business, grow it as big as you can get it and sell it before it happens. That's my thing. You got to have some type of big liquidity event quick if you come from nothing. And the quickest way to get liquidity quick, to get rich quick, is to build a business within the next 10 years or less to multiple millions and then sell it for multiple millions and get out. That, to me, that's my strategy. That's always been my strategy. I recommend that to everybody. Trying to do the whole old school way of 401k, IRA, and investing over 30 years and hope you got $1 million once it's done, it's over. You know what I mean? Social Security been gone. Like, that's dead, y'all. I say build that business as quick as you can do it, and that's why I've been teaching people cleaning business. I've been in the cleaning industry for this long. I haven't switched. You see a lot of these influencers get on here and YouTubers and all of this stuff. They get on here and every time you turn around, they got a new offer that they pushing. They got a new category that they in, a new niche. I've been in the same niche, the same industry for as long as I've been on the internet. Why? Because it works. All right. Get something, build it, stick with it, and sell it when it's time to sell and get your millions. All right. But The whole robots thing, don't let that stop you from staying in this industry, because guess what? They come for every damn industry. So let that go. All right. Lie number 9 is you need certification. You do not need no certification to start a cleaning company. There's a lot of other industries out there where you need a certification. I know when I used to own my barbershops, you had to have a licensed barber and all of that good stuff to have that set up. This industry is one of the least regulated industries, so you don't have to have no certifications or anything like that. Now, are there certifications out there? Absolutely. Clean Biz Network offers certifications as well, but do you have to have a certification? Absolutely not. All right, so don't let that stop you either, man. Just make something happen. Go all in. Like, again, this is one of those industries where it's low entry costs and it's also low barrier to entry when it comes to certifications. So that's why I really love this industry and promote this industry to anybody that's just trying to find a way to make it and come up in life. All right, it's low investment, low like certificate, ain't none of that. But you can make all of the money that you want to make. So why not just go ahead and invest in it and keep building up and going up in it, all right? And to piggyback off of what I just said, my final lie about the cleaning industry is you need a lot of money to get started, or you need a loan to get started. You don't. All you need is a tax refund check or a few months of saving. You know what I mean? Just, $5 grand or less, and $5 is on the higher end. $5 or less can get you started. You know what I mean? So if you want to get started, go to cleaningbusinessstarterkit.com. I got starter kits available for you. If you can't quite afford what you see on cleaningbusinessstarterkit.com, go to cleanbiznetwork.app and you will see, then just click join Clean Biz Network. It's going to come with a course for you. Join the membership there. And then also, if you want one-on-one individualized coaching from me, then you can go to 1010program.com, and I have one-on-one coaching options directly from me available there as well. Well, right now I do. Ain't no telling what it'll be from then later on, because as we scale it up, it probably won't be from me, all right, directly. But anyway, bottom line is, I done dispel all of the myths, or at least most of them, that you probably thought of about this industry that might have been holding you back from either growing what you already started with your cleaning business, or from getting started with it in the first place. So now that you know that all that was bullshit, it was all lies, stop playing, take action, y'all. Go to cleanbiznetwork.app, see what we got to offer and how we can help y'all. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Talk to you soon. Let's get it.